Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with my first impressions of the ZMF Verite open back, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right, Verite. I don't think it's V-right like it's spelled, so anyway, I'm going to go with Verite, and this is the open back version of that headphone. There is a closed back Verite and an open back, and this is the flagship of the ZMF headphone line, and this is the first ZMF headphone that I've had a chance to listen to or review. Long time ago, when I first started a couple of years ago, ZMF offered to loan me, I think it was the Atticus, and I was on a waiting list and I never did get that, so I'm not sure what happened. Guess I was forgotten, but anyway, so this is my first ZMF headphone, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm very happy to get a chance to review this. This was actually loaned to me by one of my subscribers, a guy named Matthew Stringer, and this is the second headphone he's loaned me, and just wanted to say thanks, Matthew. I really appreciate you trusting me with about a $2,500 headphone here and giving me the chance to review this. And yeah, I was going to mention that this headphone currently retails or currently sells for $24.99 and 99 cents in US dollars. And there is a version in ironwood that is $200 more, but I think that this one is called silkwood. So anyway, I'll let you get a quick look at this, and then I'll show it to you a little closer in a few minutes. This headphone, according to the ZMF website, they are made in the US somewhere near Chicago. I couldn't find out what town it was because I actually grew up in the Chicago suburbs, so I was kind of curious what town they are at. But I'm trying to think back a couple of years back. I'm almost positive that ZMF was somewhere out of Europe or even Eastern Europe. I was thinking like Austria or something like that. I'm not sure. So, but apparently now they are made in the USA. Now I can't say it. The Verite is a wired, full-size, over-the-ear, open-back headphone. It uses a dynamic driver that is made of 20% beryllium. It has an impedance of 300 ohms, so this is a high-impedance headphone, and high-impedance headphones usually work real well with tube amps. And it has a claimed sensitivity of 97 decibels at 1 milliwatts. So even though it is high impedance, it's actually pretty easy to drive. It doesn't seem to take a whole lot of power. The weight of this is claimed to be 430 grams, plus or minus 20 grams. But according to my scale, and usually it seems to be pretty accurate, I'm weighing in at 517 grams, so there's quite a bit of difference. So this is a pretty heavy headphone. It is a large headphone, and it is pretty heavy, but to be honest, it's pretty comfortable, and I'll talk about that a little more in a minute. Anyway, this headphone comes with a detachable cable. This is the one that came to me, and it's real long. It's about, I'd say 3 meters, about 10 feet long, and does have a little ZMF emblem on it. So I know this is the one that came with the headphone, and at the headphone end it uses 4-pin mini XLR connectors, which means that I can use my Kennerton cables, or what else came with that. The Urgentish headphones came with that type of connection, and I think the Mesa Empyrean came with the 4-pin mini XLR. So anyway, this cable here is single-ended, but I do have a real nice Kennerton 4-pin XLR balanced cable with the 4-pin mini XLR. So I can use this with my balanced amps for my review. This cable does seem nice, so it's got a rubberized material on it, but it's pretty flexible, and like I said, it's about 10 feet long. I did want to show you these too. This headphone came with 2 sets of ear pads, and they look pretty much the same, and I believe they're a lambskin leather, and they're perforated and very soft and very comfortable. The difference is these are a little thinner and don't seem to have as much taper on them. These, I forgot which are which, but what they're called, but they're round on the outside but have kind of an oval interior, and the little seam here is at the front, and these seem to be a little bit thicker in the back than in the front, but the ones that are on the headphone right now, and this is the way it came to me, are quite a bit thicker in the back than they are in the front. It looks like the same material and the same oval inside. It's just a thicker ear pad, and my understanding is that the thicker ear pad gives a warmer, bassier sound, and the thinner gives a more detailed, more analytical sound. And to be honest, I haven't tried the thinner pads yet. I've had this headphone about 6 days now, and I've listened to it quite a few times with the thicker ear pads, but haven't changed them yet. They look like they go on sort of the same way as Kennerton ear pads, where they just kind of has a material here on the back that just kind of slips into a groove all the way around it. Excuse me. Try not to cough. I've had some sort of allergy thing going on for, I don't know, like over a week now, and been coughing a lot, so it's a little bit of a struggle for me to get through this video without coughing, but I'll try my best. So anyway, give me just a second here. I did also want to show you that this headphone came with a very nice hard plastic case. It's kind of like the Harbor Freight cases that I've been recommending, but it's a little nicer and a little fancier. It's a little deeper top to bottom because this is a large headphone, and it has these cool handle. There are snaps on the side, but they also lock. You got a rotating handle that pops up and then it opens, and it's all foam lined inside. I'll try to show you the inside of this without dumping the whole thing here. There you go, and it came with a nice little red cloth bag to keep the cable in. So anyway, it does come with a very cool case, but if you need a case similar to this for your headphones, check out my video on the Harbor Freight cases. It sells for about $27, and you can alter the phone to fit pretty much any headphone. But anyway, I did want to mention the equipment I used in my listening so far to this. Like I said, it's been about 6 days, but I'd say I probably have a good 4 or 5 hours in on these headphones already. And I've used 3 different amps so far. I have the iFi Neo iDSD DAC with built-in headphone amp that I've used a few times. I'm also running that as a standalone DAC into my Audio GD Master 9 amp, and that's what I've done most of the listening with. And then last night I got a chance to try this with the Felix Audio Echo, which is an OTL type of tube amp, and it sounded incredible with that. And the Echo loves high impedance headphones, and with these at 300 ohms, seems to be a real good match. So so even though, I mean, this is a $2,500 headphone, the Echo, which is only about a $700 amp, does an outstanding job with it. So I'd love to see what this sounds like sometime with, you know, one of either a Felix Audio higher end amp, like maybe the Euphoria or something like that. And hopefully someday someone will give me a chance to do a review on one of those. But anyway, I did want to show you the headphone up close. It is a beautiful headphone. This is, one solid piece of wood. It's not a veneer or anything like that. It's not plastic with wood veneer over it. This is machined out of a solid piece of wood, and it has has clear coat on it, very shiny. The grill, I'm not sure if that's aluminum or what that is. And then the yokes seem to be metal, and then the ear pads and headband and all that, I believe, are all covered with lambskin leather. And I think you can see here the ear pads are tapered, thicker in the back. And then I did want to show you, well, here I'll show you this too. Like I said, they do have the 4-pin mini XLR cable connections, and I did want to show you that it has ports all the way around this. And then on the top here, you can see there's also ports all the way around, kind of from the front to almost to the back on the ear cups. So these appear to be very open, but yet that's not really the way it sounds. I mean, these actually, when they're on my head, they actually provide quite a bit of isolation from outside noise, and when I'm using these, they don't actually leak a whole lot of sound. Little bit. I mean, I would actually, from the way they sound, it's kind of a semi-open back headphone, but this is sold as an open back. There is a closed back version. I did mention that they're a little bit heavy, but heavy headphones have never bothered me, and I actually find them very comfortable, and the weight is very well distributed. The ear pads are very soft and comfortable. The only issue I have is they have just a little bit more clamping force than I would like. That can get to me after a while. The weight itself never bothers me, but clamping force, if it's too high, can give me some issues with my jaw on both sides, but mostly the right. I think it's a TMJ issue, and my jaw can start aching if headphones are clamping too tight, and I did get a little bit of discomfort there after wearing these for maybe a couple hours. So like I said, very, very soft, comfortable ear pads. The headband's really nice, and just like I said, they're nice. They don't move around. I don't have to worry about them falling off, but just a little more clamping force than I would like. And I'm sure they could be stretched out a little bit, but these don't belong to me. They were loaned to me, so I'm not going to mess with them. I'm not going to try to make any adjustments to the clamping force. I guess you want to know what I think of the sound of these, and to be honest, I put these on and just right away really like the sound of these headphones. I would describe the sound as definitely on the warm and bassy side of neutral. They've got some bass, a little bit of emphasis to the bass. Not a huge amount, but it's definitely there. I wouldn't call this a neutral headphone. And maybe they do have very good bass extension. They seem to go real low into the sub bass. And they have good treble extension, but I'm hearing just a slight roll off in the upper treble. Not quite as much sparkle as some other headphones, and I'm not really going to get into comparing these right now, but like I said, I wouldn't really call them neutral. It's definitely got a warm, very, very pleasant, very enjoyable sound, almost like a euphoric sound. It caught my attention right away. Just a very enjoyable headphone to listen to. Getting into resolution and detail, I would say it's very good. These might not be the last word in detail, but the detail is very good. And as I mentioned earlier, my understanding is the thinner ear pads, which I haven't tried yet, are supposed to give the headphone a little more of a neutral sound and make it a little more analytical. So I'm definitely going to need to try to switch over the ear pads before I do my full review and give you my opinion both ways, because I didn't realize that they did make a lot of difference in the sound, but I've been told they do, so I will be sure to try the thinner ear pads. The imaging seems very precise, good separation. The one thing I did notice though, and so far it's the only real downfall I've found with this headphone, is the sound stage doesn't seem to have a lot of width to it. Seems to have pretty good depth, but I'm just not hearing much out past the headphones very far. A little bit, but they just don't seem to have a whole lot of width for an open back headphone. They sound more like a closed back in that respect. So, but it's possible the other pads may make a difference with that too. So I'll get back to you on that. These headphones do remind me a little bit of a few other headphones I've reviewed. Like I said, I've never reviewed a ZMF headphone before. They remind me a little bit, and I don't have it here to compare, but last year I had the Meza Empyrean, and they remind me a little bit of that. That was a headphone that was also a little on the warm and bassy side of neutral, but from what I remember, these have a little bit tighter bass than the Empyrean, and the Empyrean I think rolled off a little more in the treble than these do. Another headphone that I do have here and that I compared it to, and they sound kind of similar, not exactly the same, but pretty similar, and I might actually do a comparison of the two, is the Kennerton Odin, and that would be the 2019 version of it. And the one I have has Kennerton ECL02 ear pads, which make it a little more bassy, and they do have a similar sound. I think this still has a little bit more bass than the Odin, but I think the Odin has a little more sparkle to the treble. But the reason they remind me of each other is the Odin, up to this point, makes female vocals sound more real and more rich and more pleasant than any other headphone I've heard. And this headphone is going to give the Odin serious competition in that respect. This headphone just makes female vocals sound beautiful, and I've tried it with several. I tried it with Sarah McLachlan. Tori Amos made her voice sound incredible. Who else? Natalie Merchant really brought out the textures in her voice. So as far as female vocals, this is definitely one of the best headphones I've heard in that respect. Couple of other headphones that have a similar sound to this would be the Urzatish Mania that I reviewed, I don't know, a year and a half ago, which I don't have here to compare direct. And a headphone I reviewed just recently, that would be the Dan Clark Audio Aeon 2 open back. Same thing, a little on the bassy, slightly on the warm side of neutral, similar tone balance, and but on I remember the Aeon 2, the mids and the female vocals were kind of set back a little, where that's not the case with these. They're very warm and rich, but yet they're forward and up front. They're not recessed at all. So just to kind of sum up what I'm hearing so far with this, words I would use to describe this headphone would be rich, smooth, creamy, liquid sound, never harsh, never fatiguing, and organic and real are words I need to apply to this headphone, because not only vocals, but like pianos and acoustic guitars, things like that, are just sounding very real to me. Like I'm just right there hearing them in real life, not listening to recordings. So that's kind of sums up what I've got so far with this headphone. I'm going to try to get a full review out in about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm probably going to try to compare this to either the Kennerton Odin or the Kennerton Woden. Both are in a similar price range, and both made of real wood and real lambskin leather, and I think it'd be a good comparison. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Be back to you in a couple weeks. Once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video has helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you are all welcome to join us at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. We are just a little bit short of 10,000 members. So join up and help us reach that 10,000 mark. Once again, thanks for watching my video.